Catherine Aragon here, and I want to talk with you about something that I have noticed on the rise, and that is content writer's block. What is content writer's block, you ask? Good question. Basically, what happens, especially now when it's being proven that a ton of good content is going to help your brand and help you sell more, we end up setting our standards really high. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but content writer's block is basically overproduction and overload. And again, it's because we look out at what other big name brands are doing, other individuals who are successful at content marketing, and we want to reproduce their success. So we set the bar really, really high. So for instance, venues. Well, you maybe are already blogging on your own blog, but you decide to add in guest blogging, trying to get on big name media, starting to post your content on LinkedIn and other areas. So you set your frequency really high. You set the length really long, and you're trying to produce epic content on a daily basis. Well, that may work for some of these guys, but to be perfectly honest, it doesn't work well for the average business person or content marketing because you actually just can't keep that level of production up and keep the quality high. So at first it's fun. You get a lot of positive feedback. People start noticing you, your social shares and your engagement rise, and you think, I am on the right track. I am so excited about this. But then it starts to get overwhelming, and of course it will. You leave yourself no time to get your work done, no time to read and research. You find yourself struggling to find new ideas, and you start missing deadlines. And to be perfectly honest, you're happy to miss them because you're sick of it. So the question you keep asking yourself is, what have I done? What have I committed myself to? Because this is impossible. And you're right, it is. Burnout and procrastination is a lethal combination, and it will kill your content marketing. This is what I call content writer's block. It happens when you set your standards so high that you burn yourself out and you just lose interest as a result. Now, content marketing is a long-term game, so you really can't let this happen. When it does, content creation stops being fun. And you really don't care that people are engaging with you because you're tired of it. So you start avoiding the work that goes into content creation like a plague. You don't want to have anything to do with it. You just need a break. And anything you do manage to force out ends up weak. It doesn't have the energy or the thing that made your earlier work successful. You have to address this. You must fix burnout. Understand that content marketing is a marathon, so you do have to pace yourself. So if you find yourself approaching burnout, give yourself a break. First of all, stop comparing yourself to people with other brands, to other people or other brands, and how much they're producing, what they're writing, how they're writing it. Just stop it. And lighten your schedule. Someone else may be able to write a blog post every day. It may be he has apprentices who help him. It may be he has a team of people who actually, maybe he just comes up with the ideas and someone else writes it. You would be amazed at how other people are getting it done. And if you don't have those resources, you can't do it. Don't worry about that. Pick a schedule that works for you. On my blog for the last 4.5 years, I experimented with different numbers of posts per week. 3 I liked, but it took me too close to burnout, and I didn't have time for projects on the side. So I actually ended up settling in on 1 post a week. On occasion, I'll do more, but minimum 1 post a week. And I have found that even when I'm busy, I can manage that. So it lightened the burden enough that I had time to read and research and be creative, feed my creativity. And that's what you need to do. Find a schedule that works for you, that you have time to go and do the things that will keep you in the game. experiment with different formats. Sometimes you're just bored with what you're doing. So don't be afraid to try something new, and do make content creation fun again. There's so much creativity here. Play with it. Sometimes it's not burnout, it's procrastination. To fix this, you need to set smaller or simpler goals and then make them a have to. For instance, I told you I blog 1 day a week, and there have been weeks when I have thought, I could skip this. I could so easily skip this. But one is the minimum, and now it's a have to. And so it doesn't matter whether I'm bored or tired or ready for a break. That one a week has to get done. And it's that kind of focus and that kind of requirement. Set the rule. And then it's like gravity. It takes hold. You have to do it. Now, the other thing you can do is chunk a project, so it's easier to get started each day. So, for instance, I may have as my goal to write a blog post today. But in most cases, a few weeks ago, I jotted down a bunch of ideas, and then after that, I actually went in and outlined a few of those ideas. So on the day I sit down to write, all I have to do is pick one of those posts and write it. Some of the work has already been done, so I'm not starting from scratch. That makes a huge difference. But you do need to find your own creative process and stick with it. Whatever works for you is your best process. Don't copy what I do just because it works for me. Don't copy what some other guru is saying, because what works for them is personal. What works for you is personal. Find your own process and make it work. A few ideas. You can set word count goals each day. I have to write 1,000 words each day. Or what if you can't hit 1,000? Just make 500 words. That's not too hard. Require so many minutes of writing each day. Even if you could only do 10 or 15 minutes of writing a day, you'd be amazed at how much you could get done. Now, another thing, and this is something that I find I end up doing. It's not a rule, but I find that this is how my brain works. I will do research on one day, writing another day, and editing on another day. And then I will also have multiple projects going on. So if I get tired or stuck on one project, I move to another project. Or if I get tired of writing and working on this idea, I can move to editing this other one. So I don't get bored that way. And the final, and this is my favorite process for overcoming procrastination. Most of the time, procrastination for me is just difficulty getting started. Once I get started, I get into the project and I'm off. So just start. Sometimes that's all you need to do. And if that's all you ask yourself to do, you'll find you may have a little less resistance. Finally, I've got a lot more to share with you. If you're interested in learning more about content writer's block and how you can overcome it, how you can stay creative in spite of being always on as a content creator, visit katherinearagon.com/writersblock LP and download it. It's my gift to you. I hope you enjoy it.